Hello, what is going on? It's me, Samuel Neeson, and today we are doing a video about dog collars. So our first training device that we have is the harness. So the harness is good for obedient dogs because you don't have much control with them. So if you have like a puppy or a dog that likes to pull, there is nothing to provide discomfort or pressure when they pull against you, so it can teach them a really bad habit. So these are good for your obedient dogs because if they're just gonna stay beside you, then you don't have to worry about them learning bad habits of pulling on the collar. It's not gonna do much because they can just pull, and there's nothing like that goes around the neck because with this it fits around their body, so it doesn't provide pressure, so they can just get away with them tugging on the leash. Our next collar that we'll be going over is the slip chain. So this is commonly misunderstood as an abusive collar because it'll pull tight around your dog's neck and then they think the dog's gonna die or something. But that's not the purpose of this. This is a training collar solely. You don't want to use this as an everyday collar because if it gets caught on something and pulls tight, then there's no release. So that would be bad. So the purpose of this is when your dog starts to pull away, you don't just pull and hold. What you do with this is you give it a tug so that it zips down like that, and I'll put it near the microphone so y'all can hear the sound. It makes this sound. So that sound is like a warning to your dog that it's about to get tight, so they can stop or keep doing it. If they keep doing it, then it'll pull tight, and then that will be providing pressure so that they will hopefully stop doing what it is that they're doing, like pulling or whatever. You also want the collar to be you want the slip chain to be bigger than your dog's neck by quite a bit. Like a collar like this, you want it to fit snug on your dog, but with a slip chain, you want it to be bigger than your dog so that there's room for it to have slack and it doesn't just constantly stay right around their neck like this. So that was our second collar. Our third collar is this little buckle collar. It is good for inside dogs because it's got this little clip so it can get on easily, and it can be adjusted if your dog gets too big to fit in the collar. So you just unclip here and then you work this bottom slack through these two slips right here and it'll get bigger. But it's not really good for an outside dog because if you have like trees and bushes, it's got a lot of places that it can get hung and get your dog stuck. So it's better for an inside dog. And this one and the next collar are mainly for everyday use, not training collars. All right, so that was our third one. Our fourth one is your standard nylon strap with holes punched into it, buckle collar. So this one fits snug and you can let it get bigger as time goes by. Just stick it in a hole and then they get bigger, stick it in the next hole, and so on and so forth until you run out of holes, and then you have to buy a new collar. But this is good for everyday use for an outside dog because let me buckle it right now. So it's just this, so not really many places for it to get hung except for maybe here, or if your dog gets super close to a bush it might get caught underneath the loop. But it's good for outside dogs because yeah, it won't get caught. But like I said earlier, these aren't really training collars because they can't like make a warning sound if your dog's misbehaving or pull tight if they keep misbehaving. In fact, these are really bad for training because your dog, so say you've got it buckled and your dog is facing you and pulling backwards. These are not good for training because then if they keep pulling backwards long enough, they'll eventually slip out of the collar, and instead of teaching them to not pull, you're teaching them that if they pull long and hard enough that they'll be able to get out of the collar. So that was our fourth collar. Our next collar I can't really hold because it's locked up in a display, but we have the shock collar. The shock collars are mainly used for correcting unwanted behaviors like obnoxious and excessive barking, because if they start barking a bunch, then you can just use a remote and deliver a small jolt to them to get them to stop barking. But yeah, it's just like this collar with a battery on it that has the little nubs that it sends the electricity through. It's also good for dogs that are a long ways from you. So with your choker here, they have to be on the leash, like within however long your leash is from you. But with this, they can be like the other side of your yard and barking excessively. You can just press a button and deliver a small jolt to them. And if they're like a bigger dog and the small jolt doesn't really affect them, you can dial the shock up more to the point that they'll go, fine, I'm not gonna bark anymore for now. And then for most dogs, they learn pretty quickly that if they keep barking excessively, then they'll get a jolt. So then once your dog starts barking a lot, then you can take the shock collar off of them. And if after that they start barking more, you can put the shock collar back on them. And then the goal would be that they'll stop barking without the collar. So yeah, if you want to see more dog-related training videos and stuff like that, check out my channel at Pause and Train on YouTube. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and please leave a comment down below. What's your favorite dog, or what kind of dog do you have, and what is your favorite kind of training collar to use? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye!